120 pages.
I'm on 15.
Yeah. That's how much information it is.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It talks about removing and replacing all their people so that when you come in,
Exactly.
that's what they should be talking about, not the movies open.
Madam Clerk. Good morning. For those of you who are here for the first time, if you want to make comments either in the beginning, which would be comments on agenda items only, or at the end of the meeting where we have public comments, there is a sheet on the podium. We need you to sign your name, address.
Would you like your permanent seat there or your permanent seat here? Probably here. You could grab your right next to that. And then we keep your nameplate right there. I'm just gonna add to the payoff. You know, this is kind of, you got a fancy new nameplate, page up. I have it.
A lot of new faces.
I'm hoping with the heat we'll move this meeting along pretty quick.
Loud. And if you'd be so kind, silence your phones, and we will get this meeting started shortly. Definitely apologize for the conditions in the room. Old City Hall's starting to get old, so power outages and air conditions and all that stuff that we are working on fixing. I call this meeting to order. It's the Chester City Council meeting for Wednesday, July 10th, 2024. As always, we start with an invocation. Today we have Bishop Dickie Robbins from Life in Christ Cathedral of Faith Church right here in Chester. Let's all rise following the invocation. We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Eternal God, our Father, we thank and praise you for this opportunity to gather. We come with humility and with thanksgiving, even for the privilege of gathering in a free society where official business can be conducted. Lord, I lift up the mayor and each council person, each elected and appointed official who is responsible for the orderly conduct of city affairs. Pray that this gathering will accomplish its desired purpose. I pray for dignity and respect to permeate this atmosphere. And I pray, oh God, that you will be ultimately glorified at the conclusion of the business of this session. We thank you and we pray for the safety, even of the first responders, God, who are making the city as safe as possible for those of us who dwell therein. And then finally, we ask that all things today will be done decently and in order, and in such a way that you receive maximum glory. We pray this in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, roll.
Councilors Gibson,
Present.
Green,
Present.
West,
Present.
Davis,
Present.
Mayor Roots.
Present. Before we get started with public comments or comments on agenda items only, we do want to take a moment to recognize and acknowledge a loss of 2 teenagers over the last few weeks. I'll read a statement that was prepared on behalf of Mayor and Council. Last Sunday, we lost 17-year-old Zaheem Sabri to gun violence. Just 3 weeks prior, we lost another 17-year-old, Sabri Pierce, to gun violence in our city. While all homicides are a tragedy, I'm especially heartbroken that the beauty and potential of these young lives have been cut short. I know that our city has surrounded their family and friends with love and support, and I give them my heartfelt condolences. As part of the city's Safe Summer Initiative, more patrol officers are on the street around the clock, and our police are taking preventative measures by enforcing the summer curfew, patrolling hotspot areas, and taking illegal guns off the street. We also have been working with community leaders and organizations to provide positive activities for our youth. Furthermore, we also know that gun violence is not just a summer problem, nor is it limited to Chester. It's a regional plague that requires greater attention by all of our leaders. We owe it to our youth and to ourselves to work together to keep them safe and to provide them with opportunities and a path to success. In closing, I encourage anyone with information that could prevent or solve a violent incident to call 911, which can be done anonymously. Let's just take a moment of silence for the loss of our 2 young teenagers. Thank you. Is there anyone who has comments on agenda items only? If so, step up to the podium. And seeing none. Did you, there's, okay. He asked what were the agenda items. He was just handed the agenda, excuse me, for the day. This is weird.
Looks like they're going to charge us $30 a year.
Well, hold on. Is that a agenda item, parking? No, that's not an agenda item. So at the end,
It says permit fees. It's not a permit fee?
He's talking about the ordinance. No, that's not the fee in reference
Oh,
to the
okay.
parking.
Okay.
no, you can
Sorry
give,
about that.
no, that's fine. You can give your comment at
You're right at
the
the end.
conclusion.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Madam Clerk?
Bill number 3, its first reading was on June 26, 2024. Ordinance number 2, an ordinance of the City of Chester, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, of the codified ordinances of the City of Chester, Pennsylvania, 1978, have supplemented and amended to delete in its entirety and repealing all the following ordinances or parts of ordinances inconsistent therewith. The Council of the City of Chester does ordain, Section 1, a review of the codified ordinance of the City of Chester has determined that certain ordinances are no longer reasonable and necessary and should be repealed. Based on that review, the following articles of the codified ordinances of the City of Chester and the ordinances that form the basis of the following articles are hereby repealed in their entirety. Article 1505, entitled Life Safety Code Adopted. Article 1511, entitled Permit Fees. Article 1525, entitled Open Burning. Article 1531, entitled Explosives and Fireworks. Article 1535 entitled Gas Stations. Article 1541 entitled Building Fire Protection Systems. Article 1555 entitled Smoke Detection System Installation. Section 2, that all ordinances or parts of ordinances inconsistent with the provisions of this ordinance are hereby repealed. If any section, part, or clause of this ordinance is declared invalid or unconstitutional by a court of competent jurisdiction, the remainder of this ordinance shall remain valid and in full force and effect.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Gibson?
Yes.
Green?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Roots?
Yes. Madam Clerk, before you move on,
Yes.
I'm out of order. We were to do the swearing in before the ordinances, so let's pause and let's have our swearing in of 3 new police officers. I apologize for the mix-up here.
So we always swear them in after we.
Oh, yes, right here.
Good morning, family, friends, city council,
Morning. Morning.
constituent stakeholders. I am Major Katrina Blackwell, Patrol Commander for the Chester Police Department. And on this morning, it is my pleasure to swear in our 3 new police officers. Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the Charter.
I'm sorry. He has to say his name. He didn't.
Say your name?
No, he just said I.
You're killing me. Let's start from the top. You ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Officer Brown, you're ready. Okay. Repeat after me and insert your name. I do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the Charter of the City of Chester, and that I will discharge the duties of the Office of Police Officer with fidelity. Congratulations. No. Congratulations. Repeat after me. Say your name, okay? I
I, Michael Tierney,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey,
obey,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
of the United States of America
of the United States of America
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania
of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania
and the Charter of the City of Chester,
and the Charter of the City of Chester,
and that I will discharge the duties
and that I will discharge the duties
of the Office of Police Officer
of the Office of Police Officer
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations.
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 I
I, Brandon Chamberlain,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey,
obey,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
of the United States of America
of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania
and the Charter of the City of Chester,
and the Charter of the City of Chester,
and that I will discharge the duties
and I will discharge the duties
of the office of police officer
of the office of police officer
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations. And really quickly, as to not take up too much of your time, I always look at this as a time that the officers can introduce themselves to the community that they're going to serve. So, Officer Brown.
Good morning. I'm Officer Shatine Brown. I'm originally from Coatesville. I've been a police officer for about 6 months now, and I'm looking forward to serve the community of Chester. I'm big on community policing, so if I see you out and about, I will stop and talk to you. Always come up to me. I'm thankful for my family. They've been supportive this whole time, so I'm looking forward to get to work.
Morning. I'm Officer Michael Tierney. Born and raised in Upper Chi. Spent most of my life in Upper Chi, at least. Been a police officer about 5 years now. Started at Marcus Hook Borough, came to Trainer Borough. Now I'm here in Chester City. I'm looking forward to making the city a place for everyone.
Hi, good morning. I'm Brandon Chamberlain. I'm from Marple Township. This is my first police job, and I'm very excited to give back to the community of Chester.
As I was just told by the mayor, I didn't introduce myself. I thought I had.
You did.
So, there you go. Thank you. Thank you. However, the Chester Police Department, we are currently taking applications for police officers. If you know anybody who wants to come serve this community, anybody who wants to put in the hard work, anybody who's going to be dedicated to this community and staying here as we build and grow, please tell them don't hesitate. We have applications right now. Thank you.
All right, as they take their seat, these officers are going to be on the street right away. If you were here at the last council meeting, you also met the other two officers that will be heading to they've started in the academy July 8th, which I believe was Monday. So they've got 3 days in. We should go check on them. They won't hit the streets until probably February or March of 2025.
Resolution. Whereas the City of Chester is organized and existing under the virtue of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania as a governmental entity, and whereas that TD Bank, at any one or more of its offices or branches, be and it hereby is designated as a financial institution of and depository of the fund of the city, which may be withdrawn on checks, drafts, advices of debit, notes, or other orders for the payment of monies, including electronic orders bearing the signature of or as otherwise authorized by any one of the following officers, employees, or agents of the city as follows: Richard Troutman, Chief Financial Officer; Joy Taylor, City Controller; Eleanor F. Golson, City Treasurer. Further resolved, the agents whose names and signatures appear above are hereby authorized to open and maintain a deposit account of accounts of the city with TD Bank, subject to the terms and conditions of the Business Deposit Account Agreement as it may be amended from time to time. Further resolved, TD Bank is hereby directed to accept and pay without further inquiry any item or payment order drawn against any of the city's accounts with TD Bank bearing the signature of or otherwise authorized by any such agents, even though drawn or endorsed to the order of any agent signing or tendered by such agent for cashing or in payment of the individual obligation of such agent or for deposit of the agent's personal account, and TD Bank shall not be required or be under any obligation to inquire as to the circumstances of the issue or use of any item signed or payment ordered. Further resolved, that any one of such agents is authorized to endorse all checks, drafts, notes, and other items payable to or owned by the city for deposit with TD Bank or for collection or discount by TD Bank, and to accept items payable at TD Bank. Further resolved, that the above-named agents are authorized and empowered to execute such other agreements, including but not limited to special depository agreements and arrangements regarding the manner, conditions, or purposes for which funds, checks, or items of the city may be deposited, collected, or withdrawn, and to perform such other acts as they deem reasonably necessary to carry out the provisions of this resolution. Further resolved, that the authority hereby conferred upon the above-named agents shall be and remain in full force and effect until written notice of revocation therefore shall have been delivered to and received by TD Bank at the location where an account of the city is maintained, and TD Bank has had a reasonable period of time to act upon such notice.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Gibson?
Yes.
Green?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Roots?
Yes.
Resolution. Whereas the City of Chester made requests for proposals for the City of Chester Facade Initiative, ARPA Project number 37 through PIN bid, with responses due on June 21st, 2024, and whereas the city has complied with all of the PIN bid use requirements, and whereas the sealed proposals have been tabulated with no discrepancies found. Now therefore the Council of the City of Chester does resolve that it does hereby award the City of Chester Facade Initiative ARPA Project number 37 for the contracts below to the listed bidders in the stated amounts which are to be paid from American Rescue Plan Act funds under project number 37. Contracts number 1, facade 3D rendering. The bidders was Design Blends. The amount of the bid was $300,000. Contract number 2, facade architecture. The bidders was Think Architecture. The amount of the bid was $100,000. Contract number 3, facade improvement project. The bidder was Hardeman Construction. The amount of the bid was $1.6 million. Further, said contracts are contingent upon final review and approval of the city solicitor.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
I have a question. I want to know, Do we or can we require these contractors to utilize union personnel here from the city of Chester?
Did you hear that question, Chief? How was the contract written regarding union work?
Participation in some of this work.
As far as for the construction, Hardman Construction, he has his company. We would have had to put that inside the bid process to have them use local talent.
So we don't do that as a process, put it into their bid packages that we would like for them to use our union workers from the city of Chester.
We don't, only if they're going to be doing construction work for us, for the city itself. But this is work that's going to be done on behalf of the owners of the property. We're just overseeing the program. But if we're doing work for the city, sidewalks, curbing, anything for the city, we do require that. But again, this is for a private owner's property. We don't require that for a private owner's property.
Any other questions, comments? I'll just make a quick comment. What we're talking about here for facade improvement program is the street right behind me, Avenue of the States, the next couple blocks. When we talk about the facade, it's the outside of the buildings. Many of you may know if you've been inside some of these buildings, many of them have been renovated into art spaces, restaurants, and whatnot. They look great once you go inside the doors, but this program will make the outside look good as well. So as you drive down the street, you will see new windows and the pull-down security gates, will all be consistent. There'll be consistent colors. It will really spruce up the look of Avenue of the States. Madam Clerk?
Councilors Gibson?
Yes.
Green?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Roots?
Yes. Madam Clerk, before you go forward, for those of you who were here just to attend the swearing in, I'm going to give you a moment. If you don't want to sit through the rest of City Council, this would be your time to excuse yourselves.
Have a good one. Yep.
All right, take care. All right, Madam Clerk.
Resolution. The Council of the City of Chester does resolve that it does hereby grant permission and authorize the issuance of a road opening permit to PECO for the installation of new natural gas services with the line extending 750 feet within the City of Chester at the following locations. Number 1, Walnut Street between East 15th Street and East 13th, Walnut Street between East 15th Street and East 18th Street. Number 2, East 17th between Walnut Street and Chestnut Street. Further, said permit is contingent upon PECO's compliance with all the conditions outlined by the city engineer and performed in a manner that is satisfactory to City Council, specifically the following. Number 1, PECO performs a half mill and overlay on all road openings exceeding 100 feet or 3 patches within 100 feet. Number 2, PECO provides appropriate traffic control measures to ensure continual operation of city streets. Number 3, PECO obtains all required road opening permits from the city as well as any other required permits.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Gibson?
Yes.
Green?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Roots?
Yes.
Resolution. The Council of the City of Chester does resolve that it does hereby appoint Shanika Slow as a member of the Chester Parking Authority Board to fill the expired term of Pamela Haynes to expire December 31st, 2026.
Mayor and council, before I move this, I have a question. I do have a question at this point. Did did this person, Ms. Slow, and the others go through the Human Resources Committee to be moved on to today for a vote? I mean, for the sake of consistency.
They did not.
And all appointments doesn't technically have to go through the committee.
Okay,
You
that's
know.
why I'm asking the question.
Yeah, any member of council can still put a resolution on the agenda without going through the committee.
Okay. So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments further? Any further questions or comments, Madam Clerk?
Councilors Gibson?
Yes.
Green?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Roots?
Yes.
Resolution, the Council of the City of Chester does resolve that it does hereby appoint Eric Lewis III as a member of the Chester Parking Authority Board to fill the expired term of Elise Elam to expire December 31st, 2027.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Gibson?
Yes.
Green?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Roots?
Yes.
Resolution, the Council of the City of Chester does resolve that it does hereby appoint Dakeem Williams as a member of the Chester Parking Authority Board to fill the expired term of Dwayne Lee to expire December 31st, 2028.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Gibson?
Yes.
Green?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Roots?
Yes.
Resolution, the Council of the City of Chester does resolve that it does hereby appoint Alethea Davis Moses as a member of the Chester Housing Authority Board to fill the unexpired term of Susie Kirkland to expire December 31st, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Gibson?
Yes.
Green?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Roots?
Yes.
Bill number 2, its first reading was July 24th,
No.
was first reading.
No.
What
No.
was it say?
No, we didn't have a reading on this one yet.
Didn't have a reading. So bill number 2 is the ordinance introduction.
Right.
Okay. Okay, an ordinance. An ordinance of the City of Chester, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, enacting new Article 104 entitled Ethics Code to amend the codified ordinances of the City of Chester, Pennsylvania, 1978, as supplemented and amended to establish ethical standards of conduct for all such officials and employees of the city, its agencies and authorities, whether elected or appointed, by setting forth those acts or actions which are incompatible with the best interest of the city, and by directing disclosure by officials and employees of private, financial, or other interest in matters affecting the City of Chester, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances inconsistent therewith.
I make a motion. We have a second? Could anyone on council explain to the public why we don't have a second?
Yes. We had a meeting a few weeks ago, and council had an opportunity to put in some things that they felt should have been included in the ethics policy. It's not that we do not want an ethics policy. It's not that, okay? It's just that some things in the ethics policy that's being presented to us today have already been violated. I mean, we've had people that, persons in authority have brought in, we've had nepotism, we've had people brought in who are now employed and they are elected officials in other areas, but have employment here in the city. And also, we have persons working who participated in your campaign there.
So the purpose of a,
And there are things that we wanted included and they were not. And it's going to call for another meeting or whatever, but no, I will not move or vote for this as is.
all right, so do we have a second? Any other explanations why we don't have a second?
I am not comfortable with the current policy as it stands. I still have a number of questions, and I have my questions and concerns written down that will need to be addressed in another meeting. I'm not comfortable passing the policy as it currently reads.
Any others?
Yes, I'm not in agreement with it because there are items that were supposed to be listed that we had all agreed upon, and they are not all here, so I don't feel comfortable with moving it forward.
Can I get one more?
Yeah, I just would like to have seen the language that in the comments that were made in our meeting that we had prior to this actually utilized and affected in the policy. I'm somebody that strongly believes that the city of Chester does need an ethics policy, given of the situations that have been going on in the city of Chester for over 60 years now. So things have to change, and we need an ethics policy to govern ourselves. However, if the comments and language that council, our city solicitor, were not utilized to effectively change this policy, then there's no reason that it should be introduced or passed.
All right, maybe I missed the last meeting, but the last meeting we were all in, we had all agreed to the changes, and Mr. Solicitor, maybe you can explain to the public what hasn't been included that was discussed at our last meeting. Into the mic, please.
The nepotism piece is one.
It's on.
Okay. My understanding is that I included all the requested changes. If I was remiss, I would have liked to have had some written responses so I could have revised it prior to this meeting, but if someone wants to send me in writing where they feel it wasn't addressed and they need it addressed, I will gladly revise this promptly.
All right, so we got our I'm sorry.
And Mayor, let's be honest here, you know, prior to Councilors Green and Williams's appointments or coming onto the board, myself and Shaquan, we were not included in those meetings that you had with intended persons for certain positions here, and you were there at the meeting. You can enlighten the public and let them know what you were told was going to happen. I mean, promises have been made, and in the ethics policy, it says that promises are not to be made to any intended, you know, persons like, you know, for a job or a position or something like that. But you can speak on it.
I mean, I think I've spoken on it in one of our first council meetings of some of the meetings that took place prior to me being sworn in, of, you know, telling us what we were going to do or what we wasn't going to do or so forth. So I agree.
I don't know what any of that means, but it looks like we're not going to have a second. As I said, I thought our last meeting, everybody put in all the edits, and that's why we're at this point to introduce an ethics policy. For most of the things that you guys are addressing, it would be the approval of an ethics policy that would address those things from the past and those moving forward.
But
I am quite confused here today.
But they happened under you, Mayor Roots. Those conflicts and those violations happened under you.
So why is that not a reason to move forward with an ethics policy?
Because it's included in this, and I'm not going for us not to, but you've already violated some of these things. So we need to talk about, how we're going to move forward in light of what we're proposing.
What
as
are you
well.
proposing? I guess the solicitor has made it plain. Whatever you're proposing, send to him in writing. We will create another draft for approval. Is that the way we're going to move forward, Mr. Solicitor?
That would be fine.
All right, very well. That concludes all of the resolutions, ordinances, contract approvals. We'll have reports from our committees. And the first one is chaired by Councilman Davis, Budget and Finance Committee.
I'm sorry, say that again, Mr. Mayor.
Just a report from your Budget and Finance Committee.
The Budget and Finance Committee has not met, and there are no future meetings scheduled.
Community and Economic Development Committee, Chair Gibson Williams.
The committee has not met since the last council meeting, and there are no future meetings scheduled at this time, but we are working to have a meeting in the next 2 weeks.
I'm Chair of Human Resources Administration and Appointment Committees. Committee hasn't met since the last council meeting, no future meetings scheduled. Parks and Rec, Chair Green.
The committee has not met since the last council meeting, and there's currently no future meetings scheduled at this time.
Public Safety Committee, that's myself. We haven't met since the last council meeting. Or have we? I think we have.
No,
So that, we have not, okay. And we don't have one scheduled, but we do have two scheduled, some police and more fire-related ordinances. So you should be looking out for that announcement soon. Public Works Committee, Chair West.
Public Works has not met since the last council meeting. We don't have anything scheduled because, number one, I was told that any information about the fees that we were working on, it has to come past you, Chief Leitner, first. And then I did speak to the new Public Works Director, who's on vacation this week, and we're going to get together, and he's going to update me on the fee schedule changes, okay? So I do go to them, so that I can be kept in the loop about what's going on.
Rules Chambers Intergovernmental Relations and Strategy Committee is chaired by myself, and we haven't met since the last council meeting. There's no meetings scheduled, but I'm sure there will be some scheduled soon, particularly in regard to the parking ordinances. Oh, what's next? Have a report, Ms. Controller? Nothing from the Controller. Chief of Staff? It's your turn. I need the list from the podium. Did that come up? It's time for public comment. Thank you. Ralph Williams.
Morning, Mr. Mayor and City Council.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I'm back again by now, Mr. Mayor West. You should know me, about the stormwater, my pet peeve. Well, I went and paid my bill Monday, and I decided to talk to one of the supervisors about how they put liens on senior citizens' property when they're not paying their bill. And we went back and forth. Naturally, he said, well, you should go to the Chester council meeting. I said, I go to the Chester council meeting. I said, but I'm here to find out from you, why is it every time I look up, you got your men out there with the dustpans and brooms sweeping the streets, when actually we do have a streets department, don't we, at the city of Chester?
Yeah, we do.
That I'm paying my tax. He says, well, the city of Chester is not doing it anymore.
No, we're not.
And what really got me upset, because when I paid my last tax bill back in March, it had went up from last year. So I told him, I said, well, why don't you guys get together and find out, you know, what you're doing and they're doing? Because a whole lot of things that we talked about Monday, me and the young man with the office right across from where you pay your bill at, he explained to me that quite a few of the things, you know, they couldn't get together. And I came out and told him, I was up front with him, I said, dude, don't you realize that the government is watching you guys? Don't you realize that when the federal government gives you money, because he was in the service like I was, I told him, you know, they're not going to let you get by with that for years. I said, because what they'll end up doing, we'll pick up the paper one day and see, because I haven't seen anything that Stormwater is actually doing. He brought out, when I was talking to him in March about the park, I said, you can't use that no more, because the federal government gave the state of Pennsylvania at least 17, not million, $1 billion for an infraction. And I told him, I said, because the last time I was over here, I said, you came out and told me a lie, that you guys had something to do with the park. I said, you ain't got nothing to do with the park. I said, they got signs down there. So, Mr. Mayor, I'm pleading with you again, try to get to the bottom of this here. I mean, it's only $32, but a whole lot of senior citizens can't pay that. I asked him, I said, well, what about the senior citizens that can't pay it? You know what he told me? Well, we have a committee that they can come over here and sit down in front of us, and we'll hook it up where they can pay only $16 a month till they catch up. I said, so how can you take and put a lien on their property? I'm going to finish up in a minute because I'm getting short. How can you put a lien on their property when this is not a tax? It started off as a user fee. Now they have on your bill that it's a utility bill. And I told him, if you cut my electric off, the electric company, if you don't pay your bill, they cut the electric off. Water company, don't pay your bill, they cut your water off. I said, what are you going to cut off? He had no answer, none whatsoever. So, Mr. Mayor, I'm asking you again, do try to get something squared away with this here, because I'll be back at the next city council meeting, okay?
Thank you. Really respect your comments and your hardened stance on the Stormwater Authority. You represent many of the citizens in the city who feel the same way. And believe me, there is a lot of activity to justify the actions of the Stormwater Authority. I need help, Councilman. I'm gonna have to call it by address, 2426 West 2nd Street. Just give me your name, please.
Laurice.
Laurice.
Laurice Dale.
Thank you.
Good morning, Honorable Mayor, City Council.
Good morning.
I gave you have my address. It's stated 2426 West 2nd Street. It's been a while since I've been to any of these meetings, so I apologize, but I should have been here. But I've been waiting for actions, and since I didn't get any, then I decided it's my turn to come. So, you know, say first impression is always lasting impression. So as I sat there as a unit, there's a scripture in the Bible that says a house divided will not stand. So I don't know if you went over the agenda, but I heard some things that personally I didn't come here to hear amongst you know, city officials. So I pray that that issue be resolved in the Ethics Committee. But I'm here today because I live down on 291. I live at 2nd and Ward. Across the street from me, there's piles of dirt. So I've been informed that the city has allowed them to use that property for dumping purposes. Whether it's coming from Memorial Park or whether it's, I don't know. But I do know with all this heat and stuff, the dirt needs to be watered. So I don't have dust in my house, I have dirt. I sweep my property every morning. I'm old school. I'm old school. And I'm also 73 and approaching medical conditions from what's going on 291. I appreciate the council. I appreciate everybody that put the parking, no parking, residential parking. The signs are like almost 6, 7 feet in the air. Who gets out their car and looks back? So I can show you pictures of people that are not adhering to the parking, no parking to corner. When they reconstructed 291, they planted trees. So I have a tree in front of my house that's bug infested. The bugs are literally eating the tree. I was told that I could pay to cut the tree down. I didn't plant it. I didn't plant it. The trees have not been pruned on 291. They have not been sprayed. I can't even sit at my residence, as hot as it is, on an evening that's compatible to enjoy. The traffic down there, I appreciate the 35 miles and the turning sign, but there's nobody there to reinforce what's going on. So we had meter maids that was giving the city residents tickets for running in and out of our stores, but we don't have anybody to hold people accountable for the traffic that goes down 291. I don't know how or what, but maybe somebody could start hiring traffic police to police the area. My house is under structural. I made a complaint to L&I. Nobody has been out to see the structure or the safety of my foundation of my property. High weeds and grass, inconsistency. So I'm just here like pleading with you all. I love my city and I don't want to leave. And they're offering us, like we don't know any better, minimal, unintelligent wages for prime property. I think it's an insult. I really do. So I'm here to plead with you to get somebody out there on 291. If you're welcome to stop past 2426 West 2nd Street, I would appreciate the time and the effort for my concerns. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you.
I'm trying to tell people. 290. We need to do something about 291.
Mr. and Mrs. Robinson?
Yeah, down there.
It's a Mrs.
Ms. Robinson.
Miss.
Good morning, Mayor and Council meeting.
What's the first name? I'm sorry.
morning.
Ricketta.
Ricketta.
R-I-C-K-E-T.
E-T-T-A.
A. Got it. Thank you.
Good morning, Mayor and City Council. I'm back again.
Morning.
I come to give Ms. Rothwell and her co-workers, they did do their job about the trash. But I still have another problem with the parking. Now, they put signs up, which they shouldn't have put it on somebody's fence. And they came out Sunday morning and took all the signs down. I'm trying to figure out if they can put a sign, the pole, at the end of the alley, the middle of the alley, and going down toward Higher Street. Then I have another problem with the abandoned cars. It's a car sitting on Higher Street with no steering wheel. It's just sitting there. Then I have one neighbor's cars just sitting there and not running. Then it's a man that bought a house across the street from me. How you rent out your house with no meter park? Then he need to order a dumpster. In the back of it, it's nothing but trash back there.
Is your address?
That's my concern.
Is it Morton Avenue?
Yes. But that's my concern. Thank you.
Elizabeth Williams.
I'd like to say good morning, Mayor and Council.
Morning.
Morning.
I've been through the city. This probably is like my 5th time asking for some help from the finance department to reimburse me for money that was taken out of my paycheck for my New York life insurance program. I've had this policy for a very, very long time. Because I used to work for them, I thought it was nice to have a New York life insurance policy. So I would like to know, who can tell me how can I be refunded for what I paid? Because I was not going to let my policy lapse. The policy, my insurance company wrote me, here's the information, stating that I was going to lose my policy because my insurance had not been paid from November the 27th, November the 27th, 23, up until I paid it in April. And I had to back pay them in order to get my policy back in order. Now, I don't want to leave here and my kids don't have no money to bury me. That's my responsibility. Nobody else's responsibility to bury me but me myself. So I would like to know who can refund me $279 so I can go to the shore.
Come and see me after. We'll talk after.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Chief. I'm gonna start a new policy on these sheets. Print your names like I'm going to write you a check. 325 Rural Avenue. There we go. How do you spell that?
H-A-Y-N-E-S.
I got that one.
There you go. Last name is C-R-O-M-A-R-T-I-E.
Gotcha.
I
Thank you.
apologize if my penmanship is so
That's
bad.
okay. You got 3 minutes.
Good morning, everybody.
Move that mic up a little bit. You're one of those tall guys.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. I just have an issue with parking, and I've heard other people talk about it. There's some abandoned cars on my street. And
You don't have to hold it.
oh, okay. There's some abandoned cars on my street. At least 3 of them that haven't moved for 6 months. I don't see any tickets on them or any notification, giving them some time to move their cars. 2 of the cars are like right next to each other. There's no way that they could have towed them, or you could tow them or move them in any kind of way, shape, or form. So I just went ahead and paid the $30, and that's going to be once a year. What am I paying for if nobody is enforcing the policies? I don't see anybody going down in the street anymore and putting tickets on these cars. And one time I got a ticket for just parking outside my own driveway. I looked it up on the internet, and they say, well, you're not allowed to park in front of your own driveway. So we need to get cars that are abandoned, that aren't being used, don't even have registration stickers. They need to find a way to get those off the street. I don't know, do you look up the license plate number and then find out whose car it is and contact them somehow? What do you do about that problem? That's my question. And who do I email if I have issues with that going forward?
Okay. Don't go away. We'll talk after the meeting. Chief, when does parking enforcement begin? Is it August?
August 1st.
August 1st.
August 1st.
So
Well, I was told by gentlemen that walked down the street that it was going to be like January the 15th or so.
January 15th?
I mean, not January the 15th.
July?
I mean, July 15th.
Yeah, August 1st enforcement
Okay.
begins.
I think now is like the soft
The
rollout.
soft enforcement.
Okay. It sounds like from hearing other people speak that they've had the same issues. So,
All right, thank you. Anything else? You got 32 seconds? Okay. Yeah, stick around after the meeting. Ms. Lynn Johnson?
Good morning, Mayor and City Council.
Good morning.
I have a couple of concerns. The first one, I'm still waiting for a call from Mr. Leitner in regards to an issue a couple weeks ago, and he wasn't here last meeting, so I'm still waiting for that call. The reason why I'm bringing it up is because for too long, the residents here in the city of Chester Their questions have gone unanswered. Their concerns have gone unanswered. And if we're about change, then we need to start doing the right things. Even if you can't give me an answer, let me know you're working on it. You know, call me and say, hey, or text me, including the residents. But to not call or dismiss it altogether, that's not moving forward. That's moving backwards. That's my first concern. My second concern is with the board members. How are we processing the applications for these board members? And the reason I'm saying that is because Councilwoman West brought up the fact that some of the board members did not go through the proper channels. Some did. So how are you determining who goes through the right channels and who doesn't? But the ones that don't get on the boards, but the ones that do, don't. So I need an explanation of the real process and which ones are you going to use now, in the future, or what have you. Because I don't think it's fair to the people that are applying to be on these boards. It seems to me like it's a good old buddy system, and that shouldn't be when we're moving forward. The next concern I have is with the ethics policy.
You got 30 seconds.
7 months you guys have been sitting on this council. 7 months without an ethics policy. This is a disgrace. The people here in the city have voted all of you in. And for every month or every time we have a meeting, you say, oh, I got a question, or oh, this is ridiculous. Nowhere on earth do you have a job and you don't sign an ethics policy. So I'm just saying, please try to have this done by the next council meeting, because I will be here, and I'm going to make the same concern. And I'm sure others are with me. That's it.
Thank you. $38.53. Is it Julian?
You got it.
All right, I got that. What's the last one?
Burnett, just like Carol.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good morning, Mayor Roots and City Council.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me and allowing me to participate in this democratic process. Just to start off, my name is Julian Burnett, and I'm the Senior Community Impact Manager for Posigen Solar and Energy Efficiency. And we're currently, just to give you a brief introduction to that, we are a company, a certified B Corp, which is here to make sure that everyone has access to solar and energy efficiency. And I'm very proud, because I'm from Philadelphia, and I'm very proud to say that over 80% of our customers are in low to moderate income census tracts, who would not be able to go out and save money on solar energy and energy efficiency, especially when it's 105 degrees outside. And some of my people, they're coming back, hey, my bill was $10. They're just paying for the distribution charge with PICO. But taking a step back with that, we're also partnered with the city of Philadelphia on the SolarWise Philly campaign, which is the largest SolarWise program in the nation, which is targeting low to moderate income individuals and providing access to different opportunities that would not have been there traditionally. So what we doing here at Posigen, we offer what's called a SolarWise campaign, whereas we partner with the city council, to educate the public on solar and energy efficiency, and then also present training opportunities and employment opportunities with our company. Not just jobs, we're talking careers as solar installers, energy efficiency experts, and also residential energy.
All right, hard stop. Anything Chester related?
Yes, that's
Please,
what next.
let's
Yes.
get right to it.
All right, getting right to it. I would like to bring down what's called a Built to Last program, which is emulated in the city of Philadelphia.
All right, so what you want to do is talk to me personally. This is not for public comment. So after it's over, we'll make sure you get the card and we'll have a meeting. All right, thank you.
You're quite welcome.
All right. That's it for public comment. Let's just go through a few of these real quick. Ms. Dale, down on 2nd and Ward, you said that the city has permitted a pile of dirt to exist somewhere. I can't imagine a city allowing a pile of dirt. If it's on private property, they must be zoned for a pile of dirt. But to your point, if they have a pile of dirt and they're not watering it down, especially on heat waves like this, that's something that needs to be addressed. I will go down there and see what exactly you're talking about and make sure that that it is watered. We've had incidents like this with buildings that we were taking down. You know, the dust gets to be a little crazy. We bring the fire department out and they'll do a spray or a mist. But if it's on private property, it's really their responsibility for that. We also in this city have too many of these cement mixing places that don't cover their lime and sand, and you know, it's an issue across town. So it's something that we are aware of. The trees. That's first I heard of the tree issue. That's something I'm really interested in looking at. Some of those trees on 291 were pruned last year in anticipation of a big soccer game. They had paid us to prune some of the trees, but if the trees are diseased or with insects, like you said, we have to see how we're going to get that done. And I think you said you wanted L&I to look at your house. Get to the mic, please.
I went through the proper channels, and I was told that someone would be down.
The proper channels for which of the three?
For my house, the foundation. Because the last time I was here, there were 3 abandoned houses. I solicited the city, and under Mayor Wendell Butler, the houses were tore down. I don't know the policy for tearing down houses. How do you leave somebody else's structure sound or whole? So L&I, I guess, approved it. So now my problem is that ground has sinkholes. So when we get the heavy rain, that water dissipates right into my basement. So I just need somebody to visually look to see. There's a house down there that literally has a tree growing outside from the basement. So if you look up, you see a tree. So, you know, if anybody, you know, feel free, you want to see something you think you never seen before, a tree literally growing out of the house. My neighbors are in litigation. They're spending their money. They're tying up their money in civil suit to take care of the structure of their house. When the people that own the property that I'm talking about, they have much more money. Because I've researched and I can tell you who owns their property. They need to be made. Somebody needs to get a hold of these people that are buying up this property and making us live miserable. So those are my concerns, Mayor. And
That's
feel
on
free, I'll
Ward
talk to you
Street,
anytime.
right? Right on
291 in Ward Street.
Right.
I live right on
I know what
Old
house you're
2nd
talking
Street.
about.
All right, thank you.
And it's been that way for years.
All right, and to Lynn Johnson, I will say that you have no idea how many questions we answer, issues we address, you know, during the week between council meetings. I will admit that not all are resolved immediately, but we're barraged with phone calls, letters, inquiries, people just dropping by. I will admit that we're looking to put in a system that will track complaints as opposed to having the public just randomly call any of us up here or department heads. If it was like in a city like Philadelphia, they have a 311 system where you just there's one point of contact. You file your issue, your complaint, your comment, and then you receive some type of tracking number to follow up on that. That's where we're headed to. And as far as the board application process is concerned, I'm encouraging anybody in the city to continue to look at our website. When we do have openings for board positions, please apply. It's a filling out of an application for each of the board positions that are eligible for you to apply for, along with a bio or resume. Yes, we do have an appointment committee. Unlike anything I've ever seen, our last round of board committee approvals that came out of committee and went to council weren't even voted for by the people who put them on council. So in order to not stretch this out forever, you know, I've taken the position to just do like we always used to do. The mayor will look at the applications and put it on the agenda as we did today, and as Mayor Green says, we have every right to do that.
Mayor.
And that's it.
You got promoted?
Councilman Green?
I'm sorry?
Councilman Green?
Not yet. Like, no.
You said Mayor Green. We're trying to
Oh, did I say
we're
Mayor
trying to
Green?
figure out who you're talking about.
Councilman Green. That was a faux pas, huh? Congratulations anyway. If, we have any introductions to make today? No?
Yeah. The, our new economic development director?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No?
Zoning planning?
She starts Monday.
I'm in zoning and planning. Zoning director.
Fritz, come on up. He introduced himself during the deliberative, but this is the first time for the public to see and hear from him.
Yeah.
So just state your name, little background, and what you're here to do.
Sure, great. My name is Paul Fritz. I reside in Nether Providence Township, and I've been recently hired as the Planning and Zoning Director for the city. It's my honor and privilege to have that opportunity. My background is in landscape architecture and planning. I've worked mostly in the private sector, but for the last 7 years, I've worked for the County of Chester for the Planning Commission there. My goal is to move the city forward, as is your goal, and work with the public, all constituents and partners, and do my best to have sound planning, sound zoning, and quality design, which I think is absolutely necessary for a city to be successful. So again, I look forward to working with everybody.
Thank you.
Okay.
Dr. Motley.
Oh, yes. Come on up, Dr. Kristen Motley, our new Director of Public Health. The Chester City Health Bureau, to be exact. What we address is public health issues in town.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Kristen Motley, born and raised in Chester. Very honored to have joined the City of Chester as the Health Commissioner in order to advance the health work that I've done in the city for so many years and to make a more meaningful and bigger impact in terms of the health of the City of Chester residents. So I'm honored. I am working for the people, and I'm excited. I'm excited, and you all should be too. Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
All right, any comments from council?
Yeah, let me just say welcome aboard. I didn't know that you was hired, but it is always good to see some homegrown folks working here in City Hall, so congratulations. Also, 2 appointments is here. Ms. Moses, if you would stand, she's just been appointed to the Parking Authority Board, so congratulations to you. And also, Mr. Dakeem Williams just appointed to the Chester Parking Authority. And let me just say thank you. Thank you for accepting the call. It's always good when we have young people that want to be involved and want to try to make a difference in the community and really stepping up to the plate to do that. So I commend you and thank you. I also want to give a big shout out to Mr. Sean and Mr. G. Kwan and the whole Public Works Department for helping us day in and day out to get the pool open, and the pool officially opened on 4th of July as stated. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, we have a new playground that is coming, that is going to do a grand opening tomorrow at 11 a.m. It's going to be at 701 Booth Street at the Access Center. They'll be opening their playground tomorrow, and they are inviting the community to come out and join them in a ceremony that will start at 11 a.m. And also, there will be OSHA 10 training on tomorrow as well at 5 p.m. at Local 413. And that's all I have. Have a great week.
Anybody else?
I'd just like to invite everyone out to the historic Calvary Baptist Church at 1616 West 2nd Street on this Sunday, July 14th at 10:30. We will be having Reverend Dr. J. Pius Barber Day, and it was the mentor and teacher to Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. So we're having a big celebration. We're having a street renaming there at Baker Street, right there at the corner of the church, to Reverend Dr. J. Pius Barber Way. And so we would like all of you to come out and help us celebrate. Unfortunately, I had a prior trip scheduled to Pittsburgh, so I won't be there, but Mayor and Council will be there. And the mayor has the proclamation for that event, and so we'd just like you all to come out, and that's it.
I wanted to say that if there are any children or any parents here that have a child that wants to go to camp, could you get in touch with me? Because we have 5 people that want to sponsor a few children at Church of the Overcomer. The fee is $35 a week, and they get breakfast and lunch, and they get learning activities as well. So if anyone has or knows of any child that would like to go to camp, please contact me.
I just want to piggyback on what Councilman Green said, just welcoming our new employees. Happy to see some new faces, some friendly, familiar faces. I'm seeing some experience coming to City Hall, so I'm definitely happy about that. I want to congratulate the community for opening the pool this summer. I heard it was an amazing turnout at the pool. A lot of kids had a great time, so just want to say continue to spread positivity and maturity in the City Council and the community, because we need that. So I just want to say thank you to everyone.
All right, thank you guys. I got a few things. Much of it is on this sheet here that you can pick up outside the door. Just to follow up on a couple things, congratulations to all the new appointees to boards. Remember that guy right there? That's Parking Authority. Now, I want to explain to people that the parking management company, their name is Premier. They're the ones out there doing the work. The Parking Authority is the organization of 5 members, once we get all the board members appointed here, that will determine the rules in which they follow. All right, is that clear? So when people talk parking authority, sometimes it's a little confusing, but there's a parking management company, and that's the Premier Parking, I think is the name, their exact name. Premium, I'm sorry, thank you. Premium Parking. What did I say? Premium. Premier, okay, yeah. What is it again? Premium Parking, okay. Those are the people that you're going to see out on the streets. That's who staffs the window downstairs when you come into the front door. The board is the organization that determines the assets, that all the rules and fees and all those things go through. So it's really super important to have a parking authority in place to manage that. Otherwise, it would be incumbent on us as mayor and council to do that. So that's a very important role, especially right now with the new parking management company in place. You're going to be dealing with some rules that are a couple years old already, but have never been implemented. So what a lot of people are experiencing right now is actions that are occurring regarding parking that was decided way back in 2019. So I will say, in no uncertain terms, some of this needs to be looked at, some of it needs to be updated. We need to hear from you, but the people you'll be addressing will be the parking authority. So you got your work cut out for you, young man, you and your authority. The pool is open. Thank you for your insistence in getting it done. It was close, but we got it open on the 4th of July. I want to remind people that over $300,000 has been spent in that pool in the last couple years to bring it up to standard. So the water is fresh and clean, fresh and clean. Over the winter, it was resurfaced. If you noticed, over the winter also, there was a new pool cover. There's new lifeguard stands. The locker rooms have been repaired. All the showers work. What else did we do over there, Chief? Painting.
A lot of maintenance.
Yeah, a lot of maintenance. A lot of maintenance. Because of the delay in opening this year, we just felt it was only right to allow people to use the pool for free. And it has caused a few hiccups already because when it's free, it's for me. So a lot of people are showing up. The pool can only accommodate so many people. And on top of that, there can only be so many people in the pool according to how many lifeguards are on duty. So I understand that for right now, there's 2 shifts, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? There's 2 shifts. So really, when you do come to the pool, you want to get there as early as possible when those shifts occur. So it's, you know the shift times? Okay, so it's 12 to 3, and then the pool empties, and then the second shift from 3 to 6 comes in. Now, it doesn't mean that if you got into the first shift, you get back in line for the second shift, you can get in if there's still space. But please be patient with the crew down there and be understanding of the fact that the pool, on really hot days or on days when people really want to come down there, they may limit the number of people that can come in. You also will have to sign a waiver when you come in. It takes a little time. It's kind of unfortunate that we have to do that, but it's important that it's done because we're not taking memberships this year. The membership used to cover all the waivers and you just show your card, but without the card, we're going to need you to sign in every time. The summer food program is in full swing at various locations. The Safe Summer site is online. We continue to add activities, particularly for youth, this summer. So make sure, Council Lady, that Mr. Tibbles gets that information for your camp so that we can add it on there.
It's not my camp, but it's...
Well, the camp you just announced. Coming up real soon is tomorrow. A couple things are happening in the evening. There's a town hall at I wish I knew Spanish, but it's the Spanish church, the Latino church right there at 525 West 3rd Street. For those of you who know the Red Brick Cafe, it's literally right across 3rd Street there. We will have a translator there. It's primarily a Hispanic church, so I'll just be there to answer questions. Council, you're certainly invited to attend. Following that, on Thursday evening, there's going to be a press conference at Harrah's. Believe it or not, we're bringing celebrity boxing to Chester, and you can read about it right here. So early in the fall, I think it's September 28th, there'll be a huge celebrity boxing match at Harrah's. We actually stole it from Miami. It was originally scheduled to be in Miami, and we kind of pulled some strings, and we're going to get it here at Harrah's. So there'll be a press conference. That should be a lot of fun. Pickleball free clinic Friday, July 13th at Memorial Park. For the last 3 years, the women's tennis coach from Swarthmore College, who started doing work at the Chester Charter Scholars Academy teaching racket sports, wanted to expand his efforts throughout the city. So we've done pickleball the last couple summers at Memorial Park. Come out and learn that game. The Crash Boys, if you guys don't know the Crash Boys, you should get to know the Crash Boys. That's also on July 30th, right out here on Edgemont Avenue. These are the guys, some people get mad when you see the kids on bikes just riding in the streets in packs doing wheelies, but this is sort of a controlled environment where they do those stunts. It's probably the closest thing to X Games I've ever seen. It's a huge, huge event. I would encourage you to come out and see it. And as you can see, it's a $20,000 in cash prizes. So the kids that come out and show their stuff actually get rewarded for being as good as they are. Also on July 30th, which is Saturday, there's fishing. So if you have some children that want to know how to fish or you want them to know how to fish, the Fish Heads, that's the name of the organization, a bunch of, well, 3 or 4 older gentlemen who year after year after year after year after year get the resources to have as many as 200 rods and reels. They teach kids how to fish, have them out there fishing, and they literally catch fish every year. Not only do they fish, but they have, seems a little strange, but they fry fish there too. Not the fish that they're catching out the river, but just for you know, entertainment. There's a DJ, there's food being served. It's usually hot, bring an umbrella. Hot Lunch Town Hall, July 16th at the Access Center. We just talked about the Access Center where the new playground is going in. And the State of the City address, which was just a couple weeks ago at Widener. I'm going to make the rounds to a couple community locations. It's no cost for that. You can get all that information on here. And the big daddy of them all seems to be, I should say to my surprise, but I shouldn't, but I am. It's to my surprise. Made arrangements with the Philadelphia Union, you know, the soccer squad. They've got the big team that we hear about, that we know about, but they also have the equivalent of a minor league team. They're called the Union 2. And it's really competitive soccer. It's really young players out there, and they're doing really good this year. They play at the same stadium. The tickets are a fraction of the price to see the big team. And it's not well attended because it's not the big team. So I literally just asked the brass down there at the Philadelphia Union to add to our Safe Summer activity. Would they be willing to comp some tickets to the Chester community? And without hesitation, they said yes. So here's the flyer. Here's what it looks like. There's a QR code here. It allows you to purchase up to 5 tickets. I think when you go on there, it gives you a promo code. When you buy the tickets, you put the promo code in. It zeroes out the total. And on this flyer, there's the next 4 upcoming dates: July 11th, August 2nd, 10th, and 26th. The response to this that has gone out on our social media and from Mr. Nasir Leach, who's gone around to the youth serving organizations, has been overwhelming. So it's going to be great to see young people in the stadium. I'm sure the people down at the stadium will be happy to see the locals in there as well. So if you haven't been down there, it's an experience. I personally have not seen the Union 2 team. Dakeem, again, used to work down there. So why don't you go to the mic and just tell us a little bit about the Union 2, because you're about as close to the Union as anybody else in this room. So what are people going to see when they go down there?
All right, I want to make this clear. I work for Chester Community Charter School now. I'm an administrator.
Okay.
Right. So the Union 2 is a Union 2 game. So I don't know if you guys know, but soccer came from over European. So it's a development team. It's a youth 2 professional development team. It's basically a G League, how we got here now. At 16, 15, or 14, you can start playing professional. So they decided, instead of going number 1, they decided to take number 2 and let them practice that way. You can also play number 2, they can play number 1 also. So you can, if you're on Union 2, you can play 1 and 2. So you can play the top team and you can play the lower team, if I'm saying it right for you guys. So if you're on Union 2, you can play number 1, but they put you on 2 to get some development. But it's still professional. You still have big top players down there that's playing youth 2, same way. You're still going to sign some autographs, see some celebrities. It's no difference.
All right.
All right.
So also, I need to share that parking's free. and it's general admission. So you get in there, you get there early, you could be right on the field. That's all I have. One more time. Anything else?
Oh yeah, I forgot to commend the. I was working extremely diligent to keep my word and make sure that the pool was open. So I was even on vacation, and I was calling the chief of staff and emailing the HR director and G-Quan and everybody else to make sure that we got the pool open. So I just wanted to commend the chief of staff and the HR department and Mark Alexander too, because I know I was bugging you guys, but I'm glad everything worked out and the pool finally got open. So I just wanted to commend you and thank you for that.
With that, meeting adjourned.